It's a beautiful evening, and this is keeping scores. You know how we do it. Yeah, we keep all the scores, all the relevant scores that need to be kept. Okay, my name is R2TV Salem, and tonight is a bumper package, and I'm not going to be doing this alone. I've got two of my knucklehead friends with me in the house. But before we go, we've got a lot of things to talk about. You know, a lot of people say this weekend is going to be a super duper weekend for some team. Some team are out for revenge. Some are out to keep their pride. Some are out to close the gap. Some are out to just maintain their lead. Whatever happens, it's going to be a super duper weekend in all sports and competition. And of course, don't forget, this is the quarterfinal weekend of the African Cup of Nations. And of course, this is the final weekend for the Australian Open. Who gets to go home as a super duper tennis player? Who gets to become the champion? Who gets to take the Grand Slam in Australia? All of that we would talk about on Keeping Scores. You know how we do? I like you to keep playing. I like you to keep winning. And of course, I like to keep the scores. Tonight, it's a beautiful night. But before we go, we'd like to go on a short break. When we come back, we will start keeping the scores on all that is relevant. Don't forget, my name is R2TV Salem, and this is R2TV's Keeping Scores. We'll be back after this time out. Don't go away.
You can now watch R2TV online at royalrootstv.com and on your smartphones by downloading the R2TV app for Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile from the respective app stores. Apps for iOS devices coming soon. R2TV, entertainment at its best, entertainment everywhere.
My name is still R2TV Salem, and of course, this is still R2TV's Keeping Scores. Okay, tonight, let's start. There's a whole lot of rumor going around in the transfer market, but the one that is really big in the transfer market is something that I like to consider a rumor, but something that a lot of other people would like to say, yes, it can be real. You know how it is. Luis Suarez presently plays for Barcelona, but rumors going around today in some of the foreign tabloids says that Arsenal may be making an audacious bid for Luis Suarez. How true that is, we don't know. This is the end of the transfer market. We're getting close to the transfer window. The transfer window is closing in in about 24 hours from now. And you know, all sorts of news will pop up. Rumors, some are believable, some are not. Some you just tend to reckon with, and some you just have to like throw away and just kick in the dustbin. So, is Luis Suarez going to Arsenal? Is Arsenal actually making a bid for Luis Suarez? I like to say that I don't know. I like to say I am not sure. I like to say, well, it's a rumor. Whatever it is, you can contribute at the end of the day. You know, the phone lines will be open later. And of course, don't forget, wherever you are, if you've forgotten, wherever you are, you can always download our mobile apps, of course, on all of your app store, including iOS, Google Play Store, BlackBerry Airport, and all of that. So, also, you can watch us live on Facebook. Yes, we stream live on Facebook, www.facebook.com/my-R2TV. And of course, you can join the discussion. We keep scores together. Do you think Luis Suarez will go to Arsenal? Do you think Arsenal are actually making that audacious bid, as the report says? Well, I like to say it's a rumor, but I like to keep scores on this rumor. Let's see how it turns out at the end of the day. Of course, if you remember, Arsenal did make a bid for Luis Suarez back then before he made the move to Barcelona. And rumors have it that it's not due. Actually, of the truth, it hasn't found his rhythm yet in Barcelona. You can compare what he did back then in Liverpool with what he's doing right now in Barcelona. They are not anywhere comparable. Well, some say he's not happy. He says it's okay, that he's doing fine, that he loves his teammate. But let's see how it turns out. Will Luis Suarez be coming back to England? It's an audacious bid. Let's see how it turns out. Of course, from there, we'd like to tell you that Novak Djokovic, yes, has just made it to the Australian Open finals, where we'll be playing against the big Briton, Andy Murray. How does it go? Who's going to win at the end of the day? Murray seems to be playing the best tennis of his life in recent times, especially with the way he changed his coach, and he has this woman leading him, Marismo, and it's really very nice to say that, okay, Mr. Murray, you're in the finals of the Australian Open. How will it turn out? What will happen? Will you beat Novak Djokovic this time around? Djokovic have done you well before, he's beating you before, but now you stand the chance to actually make it big when it counts the most. So we'd like to see who gets to become the Australian Open final champions. Will it be Andy Murray? Will it be Novak Djokovic? We'd like to see who gets to do that at the end of the day. Djokovic, of course, defeated Stan Wawrinka in a very tough one. He won 7-6, 7-1, 3-6, 6-4, 4-6, 6-0. Very tough game. Very, very tough game. That stretched both players to the limit. Of course, we move from there and let's come back to football. Right now, I said it before earlier this morning, some said it's a rumor, some that said it's not true. Well, reports, almost authentic reports reaching us says that Andre Shole is actually set. I like to call him Shola because of the way his name sounds. You know, I'm a Yoruba man, don't mind me. Okay, now, Andre Shole is actually set right now, about now, to actually have his medical at Wolfsburg. Oh no, the big Andre, who is not a giant, who is not too much of a giant, is going back to Germany. How true that is? We get to know. I get to talk to my friends at the end of the day. Some Chelsea fans don't like this, as I'm telling you right now. Some will still go back and argue. But of course, his report will be monitored. His agent confirmed that the deal is almost done. And then a little while later, we hear that it's actually set for a medical in Wolfsburg. How that will be, we'd like to know. And of course, now another one big news is also, it has also been confirmed that Diego Costa has been banned for 3 matches. He's going to miss 3 solid matches, and that doesn't go well. That is not going down well with, you know, it won't go down well with Jose Mourinho and a whole lot of Chelsea fans. So right now, Chelsea fans, you have your say. Go on all of our social media platform, www.facebook.com/my R2TV. And of course, on Twitter, it is R2_TV. On Instagram, it is at R2TV. And the hashtag to discuss this is hashtag keeping scores. Do you think the FA was right in placing a 3-match ban on Diego Costa? Okay, I like to leave it like that. Don't forget that Manuel Pellegrini actually is saying that he hopes that Diego Costa would actually learn big from this one. Okay, when I come back, that's how much I can take on this belt. When I come back, my friends and I like to call them my friends and I, that is Segun Odejimi and Abuchineke Unjoku, the one you like to call Super ABC. We'll be here to trash these issues out. But I'm not going to do too much. This is the Joker, actually. One is an Arsenal fan, a strong and ever ready, fully charged, turbocharged Arsenal fan. And Super ABC, of course, plays pitch for the other side of London. And you know when I say the other side of London, the blue side of London, I'm talking about Chelsea. So when we come back, we have a lot to discuss. Don't go away. It's still keeping scores. And don't forget the hashtag on all of our social media platform is hashtag R2TV. And of course, another hashtag for this program is hashtag keeping scores. My name is Adeye Salem. My friends and I will keep you entertained. Don't go away. We'll be back after this time out.
You can now watch R2TV online at royalrootstv.com and on your smartphones by downloading the R2TV app for Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile from the respective app stores. Apps for iOS devices coming soon. R2TV, entertainment at its best, entertainment everywhere.
Again, we'll keep scores on all the good. We keep all the good scores. So you have to keep playing, and of course, you have to keep winning. And when you win, when you play, when you win, I keep the scores. My name is Adeye Salem, and tonight is a wonderful show. I have with me my 2 friends. Let me start with someone, a fresh face you'll be seeing on this program once in a while. I like him. He's just keeping the best. His name is Segun Odejimi. How you doing, Segun?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Thank
you.
I'm fine. At this stage, I'm a bit scared to shake your hands. You know.
Why?
You're brimming with confidence.
Yes.
Arsenal defeated Manchester City.
Yes.
It's as if Arsenal.
And we are marching on in the FA Cup. So.
We're marching on in the FA Cup. I like that. Okay. So you think Arsenal stand a chance of lifting the FA Cup?
Well,
retaining the FA Cup.
To be realistic, Arsenal is one of the few big teams left in the competition. So I see no reason why the confidence should not be there.
One of the few big teams.
Yes.
Okay, with Tottenham, of course.
Tottenham is already out.
Oh, Tottenham is out. Sorry,
Tottenham is out.
Capital One Cup. Sorry.
Yes. We still have Manchester United, who will still have a replay. And basically,
if you have a wish, what will you say should happen to Manchester United?
Oh well, I want them to qualify, and then somebody will kick them out.
And we will kick them out.
Anybody could kick them out.
Okay, all right, now to my friend, to my right, super duper ABC, Abu Chineke Unjoku. All right, now, you just heard Segun Odejimi.
Yep.
You just heard him. You just heard him.
He said it's only Arsenal that is in there. And he also mentioned Manchester United. Not forgetting, Liverpool is also still there. Liverpool will having their replay also in the FA Cup, and it's going to be a tough one for the three big teams that is still there in the FA Cup at the moment.
All right. Okay, right now. So let's go to the big news of the day. But first of all, let's start with the Nations Cup. I really, the Nations Cup, African Cup of Nations has been hung. And right now, this weekend, we'll be seeing the quarterfinal matches. And to look at the quarterfinal matches pairing, Congo versus Congo Democratic Republic. How do you feel about these two teams? Quickly.
For me, Congo DR has been a country that you have to put a bet on when it comes to playing good football in the African Cup of Nations so far. But the way Congo that defeated Nigeria from qualifying for the African Cup of Nations to the Equatorial Guinea. They have been performing very, very fantastic. I could say they had a good one against Burkina Faso. Defeated Burkina Faso in their last group matches. It's been a big win for them. Burkina Faso came second runner-up behind Nigeria after Nigeria defeated them in South Africa in 2013. So it's a big one at the moment to see these two DR Congos and the other Congo take on in this quarterfinals.
So if you want to put your money on any of this team, who would you put your money on?
Basically, I'm going for the killer giant at the moment. They've gained confidence from defeating Nigeria and also beating Burkina Faso. It's a big momentum for them, and they'll be looking to go over Congo DR in this game.
Okay, so where are you putting your money on? Congo DR, Congo?
I'll also be tempted to go for Congo.
You'll also be tempted to go for Congo. Okay, another big match. Tunisia versus Equatorial Guinea. They're playing, both of them are playing tomorrow. Tunisia versus Equatorial Guinea. Michael?
Well, I want to go with Tunisia because there's a way these North Africans play their football, which is quite a little bit confusing for the other parts of Africa. And then I saw a few of the Equatorial their games, and I want to say that they won most of the ones they won actually by strokes of luck.
Okay, by a stroke of luck. Okay, now big one, Ghana, Guinea.
I can see argue that Equatorial Guinea will be having a head over Tunisia. They are the old host country. They defeated Gabonese, and the Gabonese have the best striker, Aubameyang, playing for them in their. It's a big boost for them. You have to see a player that can go score with different foots. He has the air advantage. He can make a move and he can contribute great for his team. But he was knocked out by 2-0 in the last game for Equatorial Guinea, so it's a good one for them. But for Ghana at the moment are the one that having the bigger edge. Guinea is a country that is fighting with Ebola virus, and at the moment they're having it. They are very lucky to get that draw. To put them into this quarterfinal, it's a big one for them. But I believe Ghana is going to be having an edge because of the coach, Van Grant, that is taking over for the team, and the tactic of the play has been fantastic.
So you're saying Ghana?
Ghana.
Michael, where are you going?
Ghana, of course.
Oh, okay.
Ghana, of course.
These two friends of mine are right now. They seems to be on the same track.
Well, except for Tunisia, Equatorial Guinea.
Okay, you're still on. Okay, all right. He says, well, Equatorial Guinea might just spring surprises. But let's talk about the big one: Ivory Coast, Algeria.
That's going to be very tight.
Why would you say that's
on my plate? That will be very, very tight because both of them have the potentials to be the champions of this competition, but they've also not hit their form yet.
Okay. So
let's hope that as the competition progresses, they get their bearings right. But it's going to be very tight, very, very tight.
Okay. Super ABC.
Because welcoming back Javier into the squad is going to be a good one for them, and also for Yaya Toure, the pairing, and their new signing by Wilfred Bony also in the forefront. Man City signing. That's a good combination. But you can't take away from Algeria, country ranked fourth in Africa at the moment. They are having it's good when they come to the style of football in African football at the moment, and they are not going to give it an easy one for Ivory Coast. It's going to be a tight fixture, and I believe penalties will separate these both sides.
You're saying penalties. What are you saying, Mike? Segun?
Most likely penalties. Also.
Most likely penalties.
Or you just have a goal.
All right. Don't forget you can call in on this program. The number to call are 08091 2222 83 08091 2222 84 08091 2222 85 0091 222286. Of course, it's keeping scores. And now let's get into the nitty-gritty of the game. Arsenal and the rumored audacious bid for Luis Suarez. What do you think of it?
Luis Suarez is not going to make a move to Arsenal. But it's a done deal. I don't believe it's going to be going to Arsenal. Why? Because Arsenal at the moment have the potential of signing lower-class player. You can think of...
Have the potential of signing lower-class player. I'm sure Shagun will not take that.
Sanogo is a player that has been dropped out by the coach.
He's on loan now.
He's on loan at the moment. So you discover that there is no consistency when it comes to the building up of the striker for Arsenal, and Luis Suarez will be going to that very club.
Okay.
It's too low for him.
Okay. Shagun, you're an Arsenal fan. He is not an Arsenal fan. You're an Arsenal fan. Do you think Luis Suarez will make it to Arsenal?
Well, the thing, first of all, is...
Rumor, mind you.
The point he's trying to make, saying that Luis Suarez can never go to Arsenal, is, for me, it's overboard. It's overboard because any player can find himself
anywhere,
at any club, at
not
any
the player
time.
with this kind of
money talks.
Not the kind
remember
of,
that
not the player with this kind of level.
Remember that this same
moment.
Luis Suarez, Wenger bid for him, but
right.
it was because of some shady dealings in his contract, and
shady.
according to what Liverpool say, they said it was insulting. Putting the £1 on the £40 million was insulting. Don't forget that this same Wenger signed Alexis Sanchez.
Okay. So you're saying, to you, Arsenal is attractive enough for Luis Suarez to come?
Arsenal is extremely attractive for Luis Suarez to come.
But Abuchineke, you need to consider the fact that he's not playing first-time football. He's not playing as much football as he would love in Barcelona, and he's not doing exceptionally well. He's been lost to the shadow of Messi first, and then Neymar second. So what are his chances of
Let me tell you something.
Excellent?
He's been a player that can survive in every climb. He's gone to...
He's also got 3 goals this season.
He's gone to Liverpool, and he did survive very well playing with Daniel Sturridge. You can remember his 31 goals last season. Daniel Sturridge was scoring highest with that. When he came back from the ban, he actually took on the mantle and he started scoring goals. So he's a player that can pick up the mantle from any player and deliver the goals for any club. So Barcelona at the moment is his right club, and he will be making sure that he delivers that right goals for them when the time comes for him.
Okay. Now, as a striker, do you think... Let's throw this open to the people at home. Let's keep scores on this one. Do you think Luis Suarez would leave Barcelona and come straight down to Arsenal if the money is right, of course? But of course, no one ever thought, for instance, that Alexis Sanchez will leave Barcelona and actually make the move to Arsenal. So you're saying that it could actually come down to Arsenal?
Any player can end up at any club.
Any player can end up anywhere. Okay, rumor that's been almost made true, and I know some of my Chelsea friends in the background would not like this. Andre Shaw is almost confirmed for a medical at Wolfsburg, while, of course, Juan Cuadrado will be making the switch. In fact, already the coach have already confirmed that Cuadrado has actually been sold to Chelsea. Now, what do you think? Why would Shirley leave Chelsea? What do you think are his reasons? You are not a Chelsea fan. I'd like to ask you.
Well, personally, I'll think, of course, when Mourinho doesn't want you.
He doesn't want you.
He doesn't want you. There's nothing you can do. And Andre Shirley has been quite inconsistent. As much as he has potential, as much as he's good, he has been inconsistent. And I think bringing in Juan Cuadrado is quite an upgrade on Andre Shirley. So I think, and then when you are not guaranteed first-team football, you should move on.
Okay. You're saying because it's not guaranteed first-team football, so you have to move on. Shagun is saying that Andre Shirley never had the chance to play first-team football, so he has to move on. Abuchineke.
Well, he's not a Chelsea fan, so he doesn't understand the rhythm of Chelsea.
I like that. Okay. Things are getting super different. He's not a Chelsea fan. Shots fired. So how many shots have gone now?
For now, it's one.
At the moment, Chelsea is looking for attacking play. Chelsea has been lacking that from Andre Shirley. That is why Williams have been playing that much of the part 4. Chelsea in that attacking play up front for the very game. And Cuadrado is a big player that can move forward. If you watch his game very well with the Serie A, you understand that he's a player that makes that push. He drives the ball forward and also provide that needed final touch for the striker to make a push and get the ball in the back of the net. And that is what Chelsea want. Drogba is also there to deliver the goals. And the man that has gone down at the moment, Costa, is also there waiting for the ball in the box. And so if Shara can deliver it, they have to go for other players. And you understand before the transfer window, Mourinho said he's not going to sign. But looking at what he has on ground, he needs to make a switch. And that is why we are offloading Shola and bringing in Cuadrado.
That's not a very nice word. When you hear that word offloading, it means that the player is actually surplus to retirement.
But I will take whatever Mourinho says with
a pinch of salt.
I will take it with a pinch of salt because Mourinho obviously usually speaks from both sides of his mouth. So what else do you expect?
No, that's another shot at goal. So it's 1-1.
Well, I don't know.
Okay. All right, now I read somewhere today that one of the reasons they're bringing Cuadrado in is the fact that Mourinho likes to play. Cuadrado can play both in the midfield and in the wings, and it supports the attack well. Something that has been lacking, because anytime you put Matic in, then you are actually playing two. Matic, they can't supply that kind of game that Mourinho likes to. Mourinho is now used to playing, and that is attacking with Fabregas in the thing. So he has to let go of one, especially to keep under. Chelsea is safe financially, but just to maintain that financial fair play.
He's actually letting go of two.
Two.
Salah
is also going.
Salah is moving to Fiorentina. While Cuadrado is coming to Chelsea.
So he's actually letting go two for one.
2 for 1.
And it's something that Chelsea fans don't really want. Some Chelsea fans don't actually want to believe. But Abu Chineke, what's your take on this?
I believe Mourinho is not speaking from both sides of the mouth. Number one reason, he's a coach that is philosophical with his style of play. He comes out, he gives you the right direct word. If you're not on par, he's definitely going to offload you and keep you on the bench. If you're not playing to the tactic of the football, that is why we say John Mikel will be playing for Chelsea, because he stays in position.
Is John Mikel really playing for Chelsea, or is just there to make up numbers?
He does his dirty job, actually.
He does the dirty job.
When it's time for a dirty job to be done, he brings in...
And that is what Fellaini does for Arsenal.
Flamini
does for Arsenal. He gets all the yellow card and also keeps the ball from moving forward. And because of his reckless challenges, he's been kept on bench, and they have a replacement for him at the moment. Going back to Chelsea, I'm saying that Chelsea's coach Mourinho has the best mover at the moment, and I believe Cuadrado coming to Chelsea is the best mover. Knowing fully well that these both players played in the World Cup that was recently concluded, and you see Colombia had a good outing there, and this player had a good contribution to his national team. Also looking at what Shola did for the World Cup, he has to know that his impact there was very, very minimal at the moment. So he's a player that has not gotten the rhythm into his national team, and bringing that same rhythm to Chelsea is not also something what Chelsea wanted at the moment, and that's why they came back to Germany to pick up his form and come back to Chelsea next time.
Okay, all right. How does Cuadrado coming into Chelsea impact the team?
Well, I think, honestly, I think Cuadrado is quite an upgrade for Chelsea. And I think he's going to do well in Chelsea. But I just hope that the same thing that happened to, what was his name? Salah. Because when Mourinho brought in Salah, everybody thought Salah was going to come and light up the Premier League and all. But you can see that he's leaving the Premier League now.
Okay, there's so much talk about Chelsea tonight. There's so much talk about Chelsea, and I'd like you to pick up your phone and call this program and share your view. But quickly now, Diego Costa is in the news. It has been confirmed that he's going to have to stay on the bench compulsorily for 3 matches. And right now, I know it's not going down well with a lot of Chelsea fans. A friend of mine said this morning that why would they have to quickly put the hearing, bring the hearing forward? According to him, said they brought the hearing forward. I mean, he was just charged about 2-3 days ago, and now they're calling for the hearing almost immediately. And now the hearing has been done, and he's going to miss 3 good matches. And the first match will be a vital one. Against Manchester City. Now, I have to pick this particular mention. Manuel Pellegrini said something. He said he hopes that Diego Costa can actually learn from this. Who should I start with?
Well,
I knew he's going to speak.
I'm going to say it's very, very difficult to stand against the FAs of the English Premier League. Once they pick up the mantle and they try to leash up the belts on you, you are definitely going to get the whip. And that is what Chelsea is getting at the moment. Diego Costa is paying dearly for it. He's been frustrated because he doesn't understand English language. And most of the guys are those saying when they
Sorry,
come
I'd like to quickly ask you this.
Yeah.
You said he's been frustrated because he doesn't understand the English language. I'd like to ask you this.
Yeah.
Does being frustrated, football has a general language, the playing of football has the same language over the world. But are you saying that playing the way he is playing, if you look at from his first game in England, he's been in such brawls. I can still remember the one at Everton, and he's been having such brawls. And now that the spotlight has been put on him, are you saying that he's been having such brawls because he doesn't understand the English language, and now that the spotlight is on him, is that really what it is?
This is what happens when a player that doesn't understand any languages go into some football games. When you understand, when Cristiano Ronaldo had to move from Manchester United all the way to Spain, he needs to go in with an interpreter. And you see, that is when he has to come in with he was really struggling to get into the form of the play from the Spanish football because he doesn't understand the play of the Spanish league. And most times it all boils down to communications. Our players do have communication on pitch and off the pitch. And when you're on the pitch and you don't understand what your fellow opponent is saying to you, you react. And that is one thing that is making him to react. I believe this is overstretched from the FA.
Okay, Abuchineke says this is overstretched. Michael, quickly, in less than a minute. Do you think that the FA was right in actually dealing with...
The FA is right because
and why?
For me, I wasn't expecting him to say anything else because he's a Chelsea fan. But Diego Costa,
you're firing shots.
Diego Costa is a dirty player. Remember that Alexis Sanchez also left the same league that Diego Costa is coming from.
And doesn't speak English as well.
And he doesn't speak English. And he has been doing amazingly well. He does not have any problem with the FA, does not have any problem with the referees. So what will you tell me Alexis Sanchez also understands English?
Okay, all right, this is getting heated up. This is getting very interesting. We will go on a break now, on a rather short break. Don't forget that by the time we come back, the phone lines will be open. And then you can call in, share your view, because we are going to preview the matches for tomorrow, especially what I like to call the star match, that is Chelsea versus Manchester City. And of course, if you can predict the result of some of our matches correctly, a little prize actually awaits here. Something to just say you're a good one. All right, till we come back in a short while. Keep it locked down. It's still R2TV. And of course, this is still keeping scores. And of course, I still have Segun Odejimi at Segun Odejimi in the house. And of course, Abuchineke Onjoku, aka I am Super ABC, in the house with me. And of course, my name is still Adeoye Salem. And this is still keeping scores. We'll be back.
You can now watch R2TV online at royalrootstv.com and on your smartphones by downloading the R2TV app for Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile from the respective app stores. Apps for iOS devices coming soon. R2TV, entertainment at its best, entertainment everywhere.
No end to the rivalry in London. There's always no end to the rivalry in London. And that rivalry has even been brought down here. And right now, you should have seen these two men backstage just when we were off stage. Okay, quickly, I'd like to take the fixtures for La Liga. This week, it will be Real Madrid versus Real Sociedad. But before that, Rayo Vallecano will be taking on Deportivo La Corona. And of course, Eibar, Atletico Madrid, Granada, and Elche. Then Celta Vigo versus Cordoba. And on Sunday, Levante versus Atletico Bilbao, Almeria versus Getafe, and of course, Sevilla versus Espanyol. And then a big one I like to say, Barcelona versus Villarreal. Of course, you know, Villarreal just sold the player to Arsenal in the person of Gabriel Paulista. I'm sure you're enjoying that. Okay, all right now. And then we will be having in German Bundesliga, of course, the very first match will be today, very soon, in a short while, that match will be kicking off. We have a man crossing from Chelsea, from England to Germany, in the person of Andre Charlotte, and the club is going to, that's VLF Wolfsburg, will be taking on FC Bayern Munich, and of course, Hamburg will be taking on FC Cologne, Schalke 04 will be taking on Hannover, Mainz will be taking on Paderborn, VfB Stuttgart will be taking on Borussia Mönchengladbach, and of course, Freiburg will be taking on Eintracht Frankfurt. I remember JJ in the days of Eintracht Frankfurt. And of course, Bayern Leverkusen will be taking on Borussia Dortmund, who has not been finding it easy. But well, Pre has gone back to his club. Maybe we'll do some magic for them. And let's come to that league that we all love to talk about. Our star match for this weekend. It is Arsenal versus Aston Villa, and of course Chelsea versus Manchester City. Let's look at man to man. Let's look at Chelsea. Yaya Toure has been missing in the Manchester City team, and they've actually lost 3 matches, if I'm right, in the absence of Yaya Toure. Michael, I'm going to take you up on this one.
Okay.
Do you think Chelsea have the chance to deal with Manchester City?
Well, don't forget that Chelsea will also be missing Diego Costa, and Fabregas limped off.
Yeah, so they're short of Fabregas or Costa?
We don't know. Fabregas still looks touch and go for the game. So if they miss Diego Costa and end up missing Fabregas, then I think I'll just go for a draw. You go for a draw.
He's saying that your team, the sky is blue. The blue part of London will have to draw with the light part of That's Manchester City. What do you take?
Well, basically, these two coaches have understand themselves very well. They played both in the Spanish league, where Mourinho was the coach of Real Madrid, and also Pellegrini was the coach of Malaga. So they too understand the philosophy of the game. And coming back to play themselves, they have played the first time, and it was a goalless draw. And this time around won't be different because both coaches have been in the game for a while at the moment. For Chelsea, I'm taking Chelsea to have an upper edge over Manchester City because their fourth striker, Aguero, is not delivering the goods for them so much at the moment. And John Terry is up in the par, defending very strong. And Kyle also is doing also good work for Chelsea. And I believe Chelsea will have a good defensive line to stop the attack for Manchester City. And Chelsea's up front is one man that can deliver that goal. Didier Drogba is up there, and he'll be giving Chelsea that one needed.
I'd like to ask you this. John Terry was in the game. Gary Cahill was in the game when they fell like a pack of cards to Tottenham.
And Drogba was in the game.
And Drogba was in the game. he just fired another one. And Drogba was in the game. Do you think that the tables will turn this time around?
You understand what Mourinho does? He always leaves the defeat behind himself and also move ahead to the next one. When he played Rogers, the second leg of the Carling Cup, he has to drop that defeat that Chelsea had the day before the game with Liverpool, and also had the goals delivered for them. And I believe that is what he's been doing this time around, going with the momentum of the league, beating the team he knows fully well that the coach have understudy behind him, which is Rogers. He's going to be having a good time this time around to face with Pellegrini.
Okay, let's look at the team. Let's look at who we have on field, who we have off field. You're saying because Sergio Kun Aguero is not delivering. Wilfred Bony is still in the African Cup of Nations, and of course Yaya Toure also. They're two-man shot. And of course, then you're saying Sergio Kun Aguero is not delivering. But if you look at it, they've got Nasri just coming back from injury, and now what about David Silva?
I think David Silva is also there. We have to stifle the midfield. Chelsea has to stifle the midfield. They've been doing very well.
But Chelsea has not been playing that kind of pattern in recent times. They've been more attacking with Cesc Fabregas.
The style of play has been non-predictable at the moment. Every coach have been changing pattern of football. You have to
except Arsene Wenger.
You have to see. No, he also has changed.
Wenger changed his tactics for the Man City game.
Okay, all right. Now I'd like to take you on this. Arsenal defeated Man City.
Yes.
Let's reverse the role now.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you don't wear the blue shirts of Chelsea. If you were to be Jose Mourinho right now, what would you advise? If you are to be Arsene Wenger right now, what would you advise Jose to do in order to defeat Manchester City?
Well, I will advise Jose to go back to what we know what we know him to play with Chelsea. The thing about Man City is they have players who can hurt you on the break. They have David Silva, they have the speed of Navas, they have Aguero who can pick the ball from the midfield and go and hurt you in your box. So I would say that Chelsea should play their own type of game. Don't try to play what Man City plays. Don't be too attacking. Yes, you are playing at home, but don't be too attacking. Don't throw all your men forward. Because if you do that, now Salah is going, Shirley is going, so they are just going to rely on the pace of Hazard on the left and that of... Oscar plays through the middle these days. Okay. So on the right, they rely on the pace of Willian. And not having Costa in front and probably not having Fabregas in the middle. I think they should not take the game too much to Man City, but just wait for their moments and strike. Okay, don't forget you can call in. The numbers are definitely scrolling on your screen. I'd like to take your view. This is Skipping Scores. Okay, now I'd like to put my money. I like to put my money at stake here. I like to put my money down. If you were to put your money down, Abu Chineke, what would you say? Who would you say is winning? You're a Chelsea fan out to the core, but let's face reality. Now, reality of the fact is that there is no win in this game. It's going to be a draw. That's one of the things that you'll be seeing because Fernando is also there for the midfield to make a strong challenges when it comes to the ball and keeping play. And Chelsea have Ramirez that will be stopping most of the run from Silva in the midfield. So in terms of delivering the goods from the midfield, it's going to be very, very tight. And it's going to be an emotional welcome for Chelsea because this time around, Lampard is coming back to Stamford Bridge. He's not on Chelsea's jersey. He's with the Manchester City jersey. So Chelsea want to be keeping this guy on the lookout, and that will be involving Matic to make that very, very strong challenges on him for that game. But the scoreline, I predict, is going to be a goalless draw. So if I want to put my money on this one, I should follow you and say it will be a draw. Yeah, that's my prediction. You know, I said earlier that based on the players missing on both sides, I can't seem to separate these teams. I also think it will end
In a draw. Okay, now, two of my friends, both of them to my right and to my left, are saying this game will end in a draw. I want to differ. I see a win in this game, but my position right now as the officiating minister would actually make me play safe. I see a win, a dramatic winner.
Well,
and
maybe Man City should just go ahead and win the game and then let's get over with.
Why would you want Man City to win?
Of course. I wouldn't want to go for Chelsea.
There are people in this studio right now who
are waiting to attack me after.
No, they're not going to attack you. They're just going to ask you why you want Manchester City to win.
Now, the reason why Manchester City can't win that very game is Chelsea had to keep their foot on the #1 seat, and it's been a drop from Manchester City to Chelsea. They had it during the December period, and they dropped it down to Chelsea at this time around, and Chelsea want to keep it up with that. So conceding goals from Manchester City will be a very, very extreme one, and if there is any team that will be scoring, it's going to be Chelsea. If you want to change my prediction, if you want me to change my prediction.
Okay, let us. Okay, right now, another one. Do you think Chelsea will be scoring in this game, and who do you think will score for Chelsea? Of course, now I'd like to ask you this. Let us look at the Frank Lampard factor. The Frank Lampard factor. Let us look at how well Frank Lampard has actually done for Manchester City. He's come off the bench 1 or 2 times to actually rescue them.
Now, the scoreline here has been very, very fantastic. When Chelsea played the draw with them, it's Lampard that was the man to deliver the goal against Chelsea, scoring for Manchester City. Manuel Pellegrini has been predicting this guy to stay, even though he's not a player for Manchester City.
You need to look at the whole Frank Lampard contract issue is one that is the owners of the club, the principal owners of the club that are actually in control. You know, the way football is these days, 2-3 clubs can actually own one player. And I think that the principal owner decide where Frank Lampard can actually go. Though the Americans, the club back in America really didn't like it, but then it's the Abu Dhabi group now. They have their money and they're spreading it. Okay, now let's look at one factor. Beyond the Liverpool-Chelsea game, Chelsea lost back then, and then Manchester City also lost. And when Manuel Pellegrini was quizzed about what they did wrong, they said Chelsea stayed, Tottenham stayed, and they lost. Now there's pride at stake. This is the Premiership.
That was in the FA Cup.
That was in the FA Cup. Pellegrini, of course, is saying that he wants to close the gap
on Chelsea.
Also wants to maintain the lead. What mind games do you think will go on between these two coaches?
I think Chelsea has been having the upper edge so far. Consistency has been one of the teams that has been holding Chelsea. There is no injury crisis that has been hitting the team. Team has been surviving, even though Ramirez coming back into the team hasn't been very, very fantastic when it comes to his style of play, pushing the ball up front and also making those crucial challenges for Chelsea. But Chelsea has a stable team more than Manchester City. And if you understand the fact that any player that makes the drive up front for Manchester City has to be a Toure, and he's not there to do that good for them. Even Aguero has not been delivering good, but he does spring up surprises. But I believe Chelsea is now ready to curtail those surprises and also keep them out from scoring for the Chelsea game.
If you were to name Chelsea's first 11 for this game,
he cannot name it.
Well, I am ready to disappoint you now.
Another shot fired. He's leading too.
Well, I think in goal, of course, the goalkeeper chooses himself. Kuchwa, definitely.
Kuchwa is on form.
And then for a right back position, you definitely have Ivanovic.
Okay.
And then your 2 centre-back pairings will be Terry and Cahill. And then on the left, you probably have Spilicueta. And then Matic will be the person in front of
What happens
to
our own Mikel? I don't like that.
Well, the thing about it depends on what Mourinho wants to play. If he wants to play, if he wants to seal up the midfield, play defensive, then definitely he might decide to pair Matic with Mikel.
There's something I keep reading about Chelsea players. I don't know how they keep saying that Mikel. Even Mourinho said it one time that Mikel actually gives them. How did he put it? I can't remember verbatim, but what he's saying is that when Mikel plays, they get tighter in the defense. But we didn't see that against Tottenham. Abu Chineke, what happened?
Football has rhythms. Football has dynamics. It flows. It changes. The rhythm plays. It changes sometimes.
And we didn't see it against Bradford.
Sometimes you do the right. Sometimes you do the right job. Sometimes you don't do the right job. That's the rhythm about football. Football has rhythm. The plays is very, very inconsistent. And then Chelsea has been able to curtail those inconsistency to bring in some players that will have a replacement in their very game. So I believe this game, Chelsea will be taking up the stake, and if you want me to change, I still repeat, Chelsea will be having to deliver that goal.
Opportunity, I like to put my money where I can make some profit. So perhaps you still haven't convinced me enough that Chelsea will win. You're saying if you change. Michael, what happened to Chelsea against Bradford?
Well, I think it was just complacency because on another day, if you put that same team out against Bradford, they will smash Bradford.
Okay.
So I guess at 2-0 up, they thought, oh, come on, guys, we've done the job. Let's relax. And then Bradford came back. And then it was quite exciting for me to sit back and see Bradford smashing you at the bridge.
All right.
I think this is the first time a Mourinho team, a Chelsea team under Mourinho is conceding 4 goals at the bridge.
Okay, all right, now we can go on and on and on and on, talk about this Chelsea-Manchester City game. It's not over yet. This is just the preview. We will be back here Monday evening to actually examine who is a victor or who will be the victor and who will be vanquished. Whatever happens, it will be a very interesting weekend. Don't forget that football is available for you throughout the weekend. And when I say football, I mean quality football, from the African Cup of Nations, the quarterfinals, to Chelsea versus Man City, and of course Arsenal. We didn't really dwell much on Arsenal because these two really wanted to tear each other apart.
No,
Arsenal,
the Arsenal-Aston Villa game is a no-brainer. Arsenal will win.
Your final thoughts, first from the African Cup of Nations. You got 1 minute, your final thoughts on the African Cup of Nations.
For me, for the final African Cup of Nations, I believe we have semi-finalists. My semi-finalists I picked out Congo DR, Equatorial Guinea, and Ghana and Ivory Coast. Those are my final thoughts. For the finals of the Australian Open, the final of the Australian Open, I did predict on Monday that it's going to be Djokovic against Andy Murray. And these two guys have come a long way so far from their early ages, of the age of 12, and they are playing the finals. And it's not the first time they have been playing in this final so far, and I believe this game might just be a good one for them. But let me just take a little bit of the Spanish. Let me just
let's just, we've got too much time. Murray Djokovic, who is your winner?
I'm taking with the Brits. I'm going with the Brits. It's going to be Andy Murray that is taking this time around.
He has a woman
and Djokovic is a fantastic player, but I believe
Murray will win.
Yes, Murray is going to take that.
All right. First of all, it's gone. You heard him. African Cup of Nations. What's your take?
AFCON, I pick my semi-finalists. DR Congo should triumph over Congo. Algeria should triumph over Ivory
Congo will triumph over Congo.
DR Congo triumph over Congo. Algeria should triumph over Ivory Coast. Ghana should definitely defeat Guinea without any problems. And then Tunisia, I still maintain that Tunisia, despite the fact that Equatorial Guinea have the home advantage, I still believe that Tunisia will win. And then for the Australian Open, I'm going for Andy Murray.
You're going for Andy Murray. Okay, both of you final.
Maria Sharapova against
Serena Williams. Oh, I forgot that one.
It's going to be Serena Williams.
Serena Williams.
Okay, at least on some points, these two gentlemen agreed on 2 vital points. That is, Andy Murray hopefully will become the Australian Open champion, and of course Serena Williams also will do justice and become the champion. On those 2 points they agreed. They differed a little in their choices of the semi-finalists for the African Cup of Nations, so I'm going to split my money into 2 and I'm going to invest in both of their predictions. Don't worry, Monday we'll be reviewing all of this for you. We'll be talking about this on Keeping Scores, the review show. Keep it locked down, don't go away. Remember, all of our apps you can download, or we can download our apps on all of your stores. Google Play Store, BlackBerry App World, iOS World. We're there for you. And of course, if you are the Facebook type, you can watch us live on Facebook. Just go to www.facebook.com/my R2TV and click on the live stream button, and boom, you never miss 1 minute of quality entertainment. You know why? Because we're television everywhere on R2TV. My name is Adioye Salem. This is Keeping Score. So I'd like to say to you, keep playing, keep winning, and of course, my friends and I will keep keeping this course. I'll see you again.